things working. I know yesterday I couldn't get it to work. I've been reading Micah of a morning, and I'm just going through the prophets. I read Jonah. I enjoyed Jonah. I got into Micah. And today I read Micah 3. I read Micah 1 Monday, Micah 2 Tuesday. I'm reading Micah 3 today. And I don't really like Micah. There's a lot of it I don't understand. I haven't been able to seem to. Y'all ever have those days when you read and you're looking and you're like, Lord, show me. But you don't, it's like, I didn't get that. I didn't understand that. Well, sometimes you got to get on past what you don't understand till you start understanding. And today I'm reading Micah 3, and I understand pretty much God's ticked off. I'm talking with Joe Albert, and we're visiting and talking spirituals with Joe Mama and different Cody Aaron and Chase Pope, talking spirituals, and just Tony Chancellor. What about this, and what do you think about that? And Mark Warren and Clint Simmons, he's working in Mississippi. It's a bunch of guys that I visit with, not daily, but consistently, regularly, about scriptures and about spirituals, the unknown, the unseen, what our spirit lives, and just but I haven't talked really with anybody about Micah, except I told Joe Albert yesterday. I said, I've been reading Micah, and I read 1 John for 40 days, and I really liked it. And I got my 1 John's marked all up, and so for me, when I'm really getting something really, like I need to meditate on that, I need to study. I really would like to know what that means. I will circle it or star it, or if I can see an order, I number the order so I can kind of try to put it together. And do you see Micah 1? Nada. Micah 2. Very little. It's like, I don't know. But Micah 3, he starts it. And there's not much in Micah 3 that's marked. But Micah 3, it's pretty blunt. It's pretty, he says, and I said, hear you heads of Jacob and rulers of the house of Israel. So you understand who's talking, Micah, the prophet of God. Who's he talking to? Heads of Jacob, rulers of Israel. What's he talking about? Okay. It is not for you to know justice, you who hate the good and love the evil. Well, when I read that, I go, wait a minute. I know people that you watch the news. There are people that hate the good and love the evil. And you're like, man, okay. We see that today. And people in authority, that's who he's talking to. Micah's talking to the heads and the rulers, people that are in authority. And so you don't make it about you, but whenever something clicks and you can identify with it, have an understanding, we can relate from your perspective of the world and life, it makes it more easier to understand. That's why that's why it's very tempting to twist the Bible to what we perceive instead of just reading the Bible for what it says. It says, who tear the skin off my people and their flesh from their bones, who eat the flesh of my people and flay their skin from off of them and break their bones in pieces. Whoo! Ooh, chop them up like meat in a pot, like a flesh in a cauldron. Okay. No wonder you don't hear people preach out of Micah very often in a pulpit on a Sunday morning, because that's a heck of a chapter 3 greeting. That's an opening statement. It's like, woo, that's what the rulers and the authorities were doing. And you're like, well, our people, surely nobody does that today. Then they will cry to the Lord, but they will not answer them. He will hide his face from them at that time because they have made their deeds evil. One of the things Joe Albert's doing right now is he's studying the characteristics of God. What is God like? Different jealousy, his anger, his compassion, his kindness, just different things of God. Different, I think characters. I think characters are attributes, and so God's mad. And what makes God mad? Well, people that are in a position of authority to care, but they're abusive and usive. They're using people. God hates it when people get used. When people get abused and taken advantage of and used. It says, thus says the Lord concerning the prophets who lead my people astray, who cry peace when they have something to eat, but declare war against him who puts nothing into their mouths. So he's saying you declare peace for people that are given to you, but war against somebody that ain't. Therefore it shall be night to you without vision, and darkness to you without divination. The sun shall go down on the prophets, and the day shall be black over them. The seers shall be disgraced, and the diviners put to shame. They shall all cover their lips, for there is no answer from God. So, this going to be a little dark spell. It's going to be a little, he ain't going to talk. It's finna be dark. It's like, I wrote, it sounds like a deep depression. It sounds like a real heavy hopelessness. Like, whenever it's dark, people are they hopeless. They have no hope. They can't see. They can't believe it's going to break out. This says, but as for me, I am filled with power, with the Spirit of the Lord, and with justice and might, to declare to Jacob his transgressions and to Israel his sins. Remember, he's talking to the headship, to the authorities, to the leaders, and I think he's giving them a message of y'all better hear me. He's finna smack down on you. Hear this, you heads of the house of Jacob and rulers of the house of Israel, who detest justice and make crooked all that is straight, who build Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. Its heads give judgment for a bribe, its priests teach for a price, and its prophets practice divination for money. There's the three headships: the priests, the heads, which is the governing heads, the priest, and the prophets. And they're all being bribed. They're not just genuine in truth. They make decisions for money, for personal gain. Is not the Lord in the midst of us? No disaster shall come upon us. Therefore, because of you, Zion shall be plowed as a field. Jerusalem shall become a heap of ruins, and the mountain of the house a wooded height. So, I would have to do some digging and some real studying to know. But there's three listed in 11. Heads give judgment for a bribe, priests teach for a price, and prophets practice divination for money. It's all about personal gain. And the results of this will be God causing Zion to be plowed up as a field, Jerusalem become a heap of ruins, and a mountain, and the mountain. Let's see if it tells us what is the mountain. 4 verse 2. The mountain. Well, in chapter 4, verse 2, it says, and people shall flow to it, and many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord. See, I'd have to study what mountain is that, and I guarantee you it'll tell you. If you look long enough, you can find it. It says something about check Luke 13:35. Just don't go nowhere. Behold, your house is forsaken, and I tell you, you will not see me until you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Okay. So it's definitely, destruction comes to three places that they occupy. It happens in churches still today, don't it? It happens in communities. You see it states, that are just thriving and doing good and growing, and then you see states that are not thriving. They going broke. You see cities being turned into smoking ruins from our own people. This is not talking about us, but it is talking about leaders. So there's governing leaders. There's the priests, and I'd have to dig, but I believe in verse 11, heads of judgment. That's the governing body. Oh, they're in charge of the body, the physical. They're the governors. They're the physical being. The priests, they are over the souls of the children. They are the ones that minister to the souls of the children. And then the prophets, I would believe, are the spirituals. They speak on behalf of the Spirit. They speak on behalf of God. God's given them word. So when those three positions in a society are functioning for money and personal gain, you can bet you that there's going to be these things happen. Destruction, to tear down. Zion shall be plowed as a field, and Jerusalem shall become a heap of ruins. I mean, it's gonna be bad. That's chapter 3 of Micah. What a great day I picked to actually go on Facebook or whatever this mess is and see. So I'm gonna read Micah 4 tomorrow. I'm gonna keep reading. Micah, then I'm going to read whatever's after Micah, just because I said I was going to do that. And I have to learn, we all have to learn, when we're reading and studying, sometimes we're going to read and study what don't tickle my ear, what I don't really like to know. Or I read a lot of the Old Testament. I don't preach on it much because I don't fully get an understanding. Now I reference the Old Testament because the Old Testament points us towards Jesus. The New Testament points us back at Jesus. So it's important that we know that in the Bible, front to back, we're searching truth through Jesus Christ. I got a little bit to do today. I'll probably see you guys from the ranch up north tomorrow. I hope everybody has a good day, and don't get too hot. Summer's here. Adios.